let me tell you something that's going to piss off a lot of people. Hard work doesn't make you rich, I know. That's not what they told you. That's not what's on every motivational poster, every hustle culture Instagram post, every rise and grind quote. But it's the truth, and here's the part that really stings. Some of the hardest working people you know are broke, exhausted, stuck. Meanwhile, there are people who seem to work less, who take vacations, who sleep in, who don't grind 80-hour weeks. And they're building wealth, freedom, and lives that actually feel good. How is that possible? Because they figured out something you haven't yet. Hard work alone is an illusion. The world doesn't pay you for effort. It pays you for value. And value, that comes from leverage, not hours. You've been sold a lie. A beautiful, comforting lie that says, just work harder than everyone else and you'll make it. But that lie is keeping you trapped. Running faster on a treadmill that never moves. Burning out while your bank account stays exactly where it is. This is the success illusion, the dangerous belief that effort automatically equals wealth, freedom, and happiness. And until you see through it, you'll keep grinding yourself into the ground while others, who understand the real game, build the life you want with half the stress. Today, I'm going to shatter that illusion. Show you why your effort isn't the problem. Show you what actually creates wealth. And most importantly, show you how to escape the trap so you can finally build the life hard work was supposed to give you. Let's go. Let me paint you a picture. There's a construction worker who wakes up at 4:30 a.m. every day. He works 10-hour shifts in the heat, lifting, hauling, building. His body aches. His hands are calloused. He gives everything he has to his work. And at the end of the month, he's struggling to pay rent. Then there's a tech founder. She spends her days in meetings on her laptop thinking through strategy. She takes breaks. She travels. She sleeps 8 hours a night. And she's a millionaire. Same planet. Same 24 hours in a day. So what's the difference? Is she just luckier? Smarter? Born into privilege? Maybe. But that's not the full story. The real difference is this. She's not trading hours for dollars. She's building leverage. The lie you were sold. From the time you were a kid, you were told the formula. Work hard, get rewarded, do your homework, show up on time, put in the hours, sacrifice, grind, and the world will pay you back. Except, it doesn't always work that way. Because the world doesn't reward effort, it rewards results. And results don't just come from effort, they come from effort multiplied by leverage. But nobody taught you that. They just kept telling you to work harder. Here's why the success illusion is so seductive. It feels fair. If success is just about effort, then everyone has a shot, right? No one can complain. Just outwork everyone else and you'll win. It also feels controllable. You can't control the economy. You can't control your boss. You can't control luck. But you can control how hard you work. So, working harder feels like taking control, and psychologically, that's comforting, even if it's not true. You might be caught in the success illusion right now if this sounds familiar. You're always exhausted, but your income barely moves. You're working more hours than ever, sleeping less, sacrificing weekends. And yet, your bank account looks exactly the same as it did 6 months ago. You feel guilty whenever you rest. A day off feels like failure. Relaxing feels like laziness. You've internalized the belief that if you're not grinding, you're not worthy. You see others succeed with less effort and it makes you angry. Someone launches a business and it takes off. Someone invests and makes returns. Someone builds a following effortlessly. And you think, that's not fair. I'm working way harder than them. And you're right. You probably are. But they're not playing the same game. You measure your worth by how busy you are. I'm working 60-hour weeks. I haven't taken a day off in months. I'm grinding harder than anyone I know. These statements make you feel valuable, productive, like you're doing something right. But deep down, you're exhausted and scared that if you stop, everything will fall apart. Here's the brutal truth. The harder you work without leverage, the more trapped you become. Because effort without leverage creates a ceiling. There are only so many hours in a day, only so much energy in your body, only so much you can physically do. And once you hit that ceiling, you're stuck. You can't work more hours. You're already maxed out. You can't work harder, you're already giving everything, so you plateau, and the plateau turns into burnout. and burnout turns into resentment. I did everything right. I worked my ass off. Why am I still here? Because you were running on a treadmill, and no matter how fast you run on a treadmill, you never actually move forward. Here's what nobody tells you. The people who win aren't the ones who work the hardest. They're the ones who figured out how to make their work count more. A farmer works 12 hours and feeds 50 people. A software engineer works 12 hours and writes code that serves 5 million people. Same effort, wildly different results. That's not about intelligence. It's not about privilege. It's about leverage. And until you understand leverage, you'll keep grinding harder while others build wealth with less stress, less time, and more freedom. Now let me show you what leverage actually is, and why it changes everything. If hard work alone doesn't create wealth, then what does? Leverage. Leverage is the invisible multiplier that turns effort into exponential results. It's the reason two people can work the exact same hours, but one stays broke while the other builds generational wealth. Think of leverage like a lever in physics. You've seen those old images of Archimedes with a giant lever, right? He famously said, "Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and I will move the earth." That's leverage, a small push, multiplied into massive force. And in life, leverage works the exact same way. The three forms of leverage. There are three main types of leverage you can use to multiply your results. 1. Tools and technology. This is the most obvious form. Imagine two writers. Writer A uses a typewriter, spends hours typing, editing by hand, mailing manuscripts to publishers. Maybe reaches a few hundred people if they're lucky. Writer B publishes online, writes once, reaches millions instantly. Gets paid every time someone reads, clicks, or subscribes. Same effort, different leverage. Today, we live in the greatest era of technological leverage in human history. You can automate tasks with AI, reach millions with social media, build software that works while you sleep, invest with apps that compound your money automatically. But most people, they're still using the typewriter. They refuse to learn the tools, refuse to adapt, refuse to use technology because it feels too complicated or not how things used to be done. And they wonder why they're stuck. 2. Capital, money as a multiplier. Money itself is leverage. If you save $100 a month in a bank account, you're building wealth linearly, slowly, $1 at a time. But if you invest that $100, if you let it compound in the market, in real estate, in a business, your money starts working for you. Making money while you sleep, multiplying without you lifting a finger. The rich don't just trade time for money, they let money make money. That's leverage. And here's the kicker. You don't need to be rich to start using capital leverage. Even small amounts, invested consistently over time, compound into life-changing wealth. But most people never start because they think, I need a lot of money to invest. No, you need consistency and time. That's the leverage. 3. People and systems. This is the most powerful form of leverage and the hardest to build. A solo entrepreneur can only do so much, but an entrepreneur who hires a team, who builds systems that run without them, they just 10x their output. Think about it. A delivery driver works hard, delivers 50 packages a day. Jeff Bezos built a system. Now Amazon delivers millions of packages a day, and Jeff doesn't have to touch a single one. Same concept, different leverage. And before you say, yeah, but I'm not Jeff Bezos, you don't have to be. You can hire a virtual assistant to handle admin tasks. You can automate your content creation. You can delegate, systematize, and build small machines that free up your time while producing results. But most people don't, because they're addicted to the grind. They think, if I'm not doing it myself, it doesn't count. That belief keeps you broke. Here's the psychological trap. Leverage feels like cheating. We've been conditioned to believe that if you didn't sweat, bleed, and suffer for every dollar, it's somehow less deserved. That if you're using tools, systems, or other people's time, you're taking a shortcut. But that's the success illusion talking. Leverage isn't cheating, it's playing the actual game. The people who succeed aren't grinding 100 hours a week. They're finding ways to make 10 hours produce what used to take 100. And the crazy part? They feel less stressed. Because they're not running on a treadmill, they're building escalators. Here's what you need to understand. Hard work is necessary, but leverage is what makes it count. Without leverage, you're trading hours for inches. You work harder, you earn a little more, but you're still capped by time and energy. With leverage, you turn hours into miles. You work the same amount, but your results explode. That's the difference between the construction worker and the tech founder. Not effort, leverage. Now let me show you how to escape the trap and start building it for yourself. Okay, you see the illusion now. You understand leverage, so how do you actually escape? How do you stop grinding yourself into exhaustion and start building wealth, freedom, and results that actually scale? Here's the roadmap. Step 1. Redefine. What success means. The first shift happens in your head. Stop measuring success by effort. Start measuring it by impact. Success isn't, I worked 80 hours this week. Success is, I created something that produced value, and I didn't destroy myself doing it. Ask yourself a different question. Not, how hard can I work? But how can I make this effort produce more? That one shift changes everything, because now you're not optimizing for exhaustion, you're optimizing for results. Step 2. Identify your leverage points. Look at your life right now and ask, what can I multiply? Do you have a skill you could teach once and sell 1,000 times online? Are you doing repetitive tasks that could be automated with software? Is your money sitting in a bank account earning 0.1% interest instead of being invested? Are you spending 10 hours a week on admin work that a 15-hour VA could handle? Every single one of those is a leverage point. And every time you activate one, your effort starts producing exponential returns instead of linear ones. Step 3. Invest in skills that scale. Not all skills are created equal. Some skills pay you once, others pay you forever. Skills that don't scale. Manual labor, one-time services, trading hours for dollars. Skills that do scale. Writing content creation, write once, reach millions. Coding, building software, build once, serve millions. Sales and persuasion, influence compounds. Leadership and delegation, multiply through people. Investing, money works while you sleep. Focus your time on learning skills that create exponential returns, not just linear ones. Because the effort you put into learning a scalable skill compounds for the rest of your life. Step 4. Build systems, not just habits. Habits make you consistent. Systems make you free. A habit is, I work out every morning. A system is, I have a pre-packed gym bag, a calendar reminder, and a workout buddy who holds me accountable. A habit is, I invest every month. And system is, I have automatic transfers set up that pull money from my paycheck into index funds before I even see it. Habits rely on willpower, systems run on autopilot. And when you build systems, for your money, your health, your business, your content, your results keep flowing even when you're tired, distracted, or on vacation. That's leverage. Step 5. Let go of effort. Worth. This is the hardest one. You've been conditioned your entire life to believe that your worth is tied to how hard you work. That rest is laziness. That success without suffering is somehow unearned. But that's a trap. Your worth isn't measured by exhaustion. It's measured by growth, impact, and the life you're building. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the need to prove yourself through endless work. True confidence comes from knowing you're building smart, not just hard. Step 6. Start small, but start now. You don't need to overhaul your entire life tomorrow. Start with one leverage point. Automate one thing. Delegate one task. Learn one scalable skill. Invest one paycheck. Small leverage compounds. And over time, those small wins turn into exponential results. The people who escape the success illusion aren't the ones who had some massive breakthrough. They're the ones who started stacking leverage, one decision at a time, until their efforts started producing 10x, 100x, 1000x the results. Here's the shift that sets you free. Stop asking, how hard am I working? Start asking, how much is this effort producing? Because in the end, the world doesn't care how tired you are. It cares about the value you create. And when you learn to multiply that value through leverage, that's when everything changes. So here's the truth. Hard work matters. Effort matters. Discipline matters. But hard work alone will never be enough. The world doesn't reward how many hours you grind. It rewards how much value you create. And value, that comes from leverage. The construction worker and the tech founder both work hard. But only one of them built a system that scales. The people who rise aren't the ones who hustle the longest. They're the ones who figured out how to turn effort into exponential results. And here's the good news. You don't need to be born into wealth. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to work 100-hour weeks. You just need to stop playing the wrong game. Stop measuring success by exhaustion. Stop glorifying the grind. Stop believing that suffering equals progress. And start building leverage. Use tools. Invest your money. Build systems. Learn scalable skills. Delegate. Automate. Multiply. Because the grind doesn't make you free, leverage does. So let me ask you, are you still running on the treadmill, wondering why nothing's changing? Or are you ready to step off, see the real game, and start building the wealth and freedom you actually deserve? If this hit you, drop a comment and let me know. And if you're ready to escape the illusions holding you back, subscribe. Because at Sleepless Academy, we don't worship the grind. We build leverage, and we're just getting started.